Today I messed up by going to a baseball game with my dad and getting hit in the balls. So my dad was going to the Rays vs Marlins game today in one of the boxes, and he had an extra ticket, so I came along to the first MLB game of my life. I'm gonna be honest, I've never really been a baseball fan, so I wasn't paying attention for most of the game, just looking at my phone. The game was pretty normal. Rays got crushed, but in the bottom of the ninth inning, the last fly ball of the game came towards our box. I wasn't paying attention in the slightest, but I reactively caught it after I felt something hit my lap. About a second later I realized it had struck me directly on my balls. There was cheering in my box at first, as I couldn't speak due to pain, but once I broke the news the mood shifted. I felt insane pain for about 10 minutes and now my left testicle is swollen as fuck. On the bright side, I have an MLB ball now. FML. Today I messed up by getting locked out of my hotel room with no pants or shirt on. 27M, don't know what happened, but I woke up outside my hotel room at night yesterday and I was only wearing my underwear. I wasn't understanding anything. The only thing I remember was going to sleep in my room. I figured I probably sleepwalked and got locked out of my hotel room. This was the most embarrassed I've ever been in my life, because it wasn't even that late. Probably like 9-ish at night. The worst part of it is that I was a fancy hotel with a huge lobby and full staff, so it made things even more awkward than they already were. I went to the hotel lobby and went straight to the receptionist. I froze for about 10 seconds, before saying something. I told him I got locked out of my room and that I needed a new key. I don't know how they keep the straight faces and even ignore the fact that I'm almost naked. I wasn't even able to look at their faces because I was so embarrassed. There were a handful of people, but I think they were mostly shocked. I got the key and went straight back to my room. It sort of felt like a dream where you are at school but don't have your pants. When I finally got to my room, I put on my clothes, ordered a club sandwich and watched Shrek 2 on Netflix. I think I went to sleep fully clothed that night. Today I messed up by accusing my boyfriend of being at some bar cheating on me, when in reality he was watching his brother die. My 26F boyfriend, 24 meters, agreed with me on having a movie night yesterday. We live together, so we usually have movie nights every 2 to 3 weeks. Today I went out and bought a lot of snacks and even made some at home. But then after I finished preparing everything I sat down waiting for him. He said he'll be home by 10 but he just never showed up. 11 goes by, and then midnight, and then 1, 2 and 3 in the morning. I blew up his phone with calls and text messages at the time, and I was worried sick that I even thought of calling the emergencies. But then at 3:40 in the morning, he enters the house. I could see his eyes were soulless and he reeked of alcohol. I lost my mind when I saw him like that. I lashed out on him saying that whatever excuse he comes up with, it's not gonna clear up the alcohol, and returning home at 4 in the morning, I told him, "Were you at the bar? Or at a club with some girls? Or maybe you were with some friends completely forgetting about me and that's why you came home late." I also said, "You were probably drinking with some girls perhaps? Because that's totally what you were doing. And I cannot believe I waited for you when you were at some club." He just sat emotionlessly on the couch and then dropped the bombshell. He said that his little brother, 14 meters, had just got in an accident, and that he was with him the whole night in the hospital until he passed away an hour ago. I was speechless. I couldn't do anything but get on my knees and beg for his forgiveness. I could have even kissed his feet if he hadn't stopped me, so I ended up holding him in my arms, and listening to him spill his feelings out. He said he called me yesterday, telling me about how he just got his first girlfriend. He was happy and we talked for 4 hours straight. He was telling me how he got a gym subscription because he wanted to be strong like Big Bro. He kept asking for advice. We laughed, and we talked seriously, and we even mocked and joked about each other. I can't believe my baby brother is gone, and he ended up crying himself to sleep in my arms while I cried with him. I'm currently focused on helping my boyfriend recover and not let him feel alone, but I'm still feeling guilty to an unimaginable point, and I can't even think of a possible way to make it up to him. Today I messed up by letting a woman blow me on the first date. Let me set the scene for you. I 30M have been separated from my wife for over 5 months now. I started going out of dates from dating apps a few weeks ago to make myself feel better about getting back into dating after a decade of being in a committed relationship. My therapist said it was a good idea and my wife said she didn't care as long as I didn't sleep with anyone until we figure our shit out. Matched with someone who said she was in a similar situation to me, wanted to meet new people, casually date, take things slow and see what happens. We have dinner. Goes great, talk until they close and kick us out. She asks to sit in my car and talk some more, and we do until all the stores in the strip close and our cars are the only ones in the parking lot. After about 4 hours of talking, her flirting with me and me being oblivious to it, one thing leads to another and my dick is in her mouth. Best ever. So good, in fact I tell my wife the next day I'm ready to move forward with filing for divorce. I wouldn't feel right about pursuing this relationship with that still up in the air. Within hours of that conversation with my wife, new girl lets me know she can't see me again and feels embarrassed about doing what she did on the first date. Today I messed up by accidentally liking an Instagram photo and now my life is probably over. My 55 male daughter, 21F, still lives at home, but has full autonomy here. But I like to know what's going on, so when she texted that she's bringing a few friends over after school, it wasn't to ask permission. Just to let us know there might be a few more people over for dinner. No prob. Who? I asked. She mentioned a few names I recognized and one I didn't. Let's call her Sally. Who's Sally? Just another friend from uni. Okay, sounds good, see you later. My idle curiosity led me to Instagram, just wondering who Sally is. I looked up my daughter's age list of who she follows, and found only one Sally whose profile indicated she attended the same uni as my daughter. Obviously her. That would have been it, except her profile caught my attention. Because unlike most of her friends who have them set on private, this one was wide open to the public, and it's one of these typical young beautiful woman profiles full of selfies in exotic clothes and poses. I scroll down a bit and of course there are beach pics from last summer, and like any normal red-blooded male, it catches my attention. No, I'm not into girls my daughter's age, I'm not some weirdo. But when those sorts of pictures show up on your phone, most guys would be lying if they told you it didn't catch their attention for a closer look. Anyway, I pause the scroll there and I screw up because I double tap it, and that dreaded big red like heart shows up, right on some very revealing bikini pic. My actual heart actually stops for a moment too, I'm sure of it. I instantly unlike it. But, of course, the damage is done. Somewhere, Sally's phone just got a notification that some user whose account shares the same last name as my daughter, like that pic. So, Sally will mention this to my daughter and I will be a gone man, and that's it. It's been nice knowing you all. I realize there may be a saving grace here, which is that Sally, with her 20k followers and thousands of likes per pic, might have notifications turned off, in which case this is a non-issue. Or, she gets so many notifications, she won't notice because she ignores them and then clears them in bunches. Perhaps that's wishful thinking. Or, as per above, I'm gone. I don't really see many other alternatives. For the moment, until I hear anything from someone, I feel like I'm anywhere from totally in the clear to gone. Like I'm strapped into Schrodinger's electric chair, waiting to find out which way the lever will fall.